everyone. Welcome back to our little podcast that we like to call The Things I Wish My Mum Had Told Me, with your hosts, me, Emma Thompson-Hill.
And me, Clara Hermit.
You didn't hear her just burp 2 seconds before she went, yeah, you start. And I went, all right. She went, burp.
I know, but I think sometimes it is better out than in.
Oh, no, it's definitely better out there than in.
If I was sitting here when we started the podcast trying to hold a burp in, and it wouldn't be good.
Yeah, and then maybe when you open your mouth, like it just come flying out, and then that'd be really awkward.
It wouldn't.
But it's only us here.
I feel like the people that listen to this podcast would expect no more of me anyway.
They'd think, yeah, go on, girl,
like,
get it out.
Yeah, sure. That's what Clara does. She burps. But we're here. We're back. Thank you to everyone who's been listening to the podcast. It's doing all right, isn't it?
It's doing all right, girl. Sorry, we keep forgetting to upload any clips on TikTok and Instagram, but we're going to work on it.
We're going to try and build a little bit of a team so that we've got some support and some help, because obviously we're both busy doing our own things.
Busy bees.
But we want this podcast to grow, and we know it's brilliant, and we've got so many great clips now. We've literally got hundreds.
I know, we do actually, and they're really good. And we're really thankful because the audience that we do have, like, I feel like the girlies, they just get it and they love it.
The girlies do get it. I actually have got a little story that was in the DMs from somebody, and it was a funny story.
Okay.
And they wanted to share it. So I think we should kind of just read it, because I think you're going to like it.
Okay.
So funny story. I was listening to your podcast today on my way to work through my earpods. When I got to work in a very conservative open plan office, I pulled out my earpods and the podcast screams out of my phone just at the point where you are discussing the best sex of your life.
Oh, God.
I panicked and started frantically trying to close Spotify, but it just made it worse. Mortified, but can see the funny side now. Love it. I love this for you. Brilliant. I'm sure some people in the office were like, what podcast is that? Brilliant.
Because it's such an open plan office, you could play it off and you could be like, who's that?
Yeah.
Who's listening to that filth?
Just pretend it's not you.
It's Karen from finance.
Karen from HR, isn't it?
What are you doing?
So thanks for that story. We do enjoy those. If you want to let us know, like, how you listen to the podcast, where you listen to the podcast, any of that stuff, you can always drop us a DM. You can drop us an email.
You can.
mumtoldmepod@gmail.com.
That's the one.
You can tell we haven't recorded together for a little while.
I was literally going to say that. You can tell that it's been like a good, how long
6
6 weeks? We haven't recorded in 6 weeks, and I can tell because I'm like rocking back and forth. And
also,
I'm like awkward and
we keep
stiff.
talking over each other, and normally we're really good.
This one's going to be a bit stiff, girls. All right.
It's going to be fine though. Don't worry about it. It's just,
Yeah, and we chat. Sorry. We do keep talking over each other. We changed our format a bit last time. Like we were doing like the dilemmas, the saucy stories, all of that. So we're going to keep on the theme of the dilemmas because you guys really seem to enjoy it. And we've been getting a lot.
Yeah, we've got loads of dilemmas. And I also think it does seem like a lot of you are experiencing the same kind of stuff, which, is stuff that in the majority of cases, there's some this week that definitely neither Emma or I have experienced. But in a lot of cases, it's like, yes, we've all experienced this. We've all been here. And so we want to try and get through as many dilemmas as we can.
Yeah.
And give like our 2 pence.
Yeah.
Obviously, we are not... See, the burp came up again.
Oh, here we go. We're not
qualified
counselors.
professionals.
No. But we have lived a bit of life, haven't we?
We got a bit of life experience.
Got a bit of experience. I'm an old soul. I'm an old lady in a 27-year-old's body. So that's what I like to think anyway.
I mean, I'm not sure with some of the stuff you get up to.
Okay, well, no, I'm young at heart, old in the head.
But you did you did say that even when you're old, you still want to be having sex until the day you die, basically.
Yeah.
So, you're going to be a wild... I'm really looking forward to being like an old lady. Someone said that to me this week on socials. They were just like, because you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, you know what? Because I've been watching Big Brother lately and like Sharon and Louis on Big Brother, right? And it just made me think, when you get past the age of probably 65, you stop giving a single shit. You will say exactly what you think and you don't care about it. Because you're old. What are they going to do? Fight you? You're literally 75. It just cracks me up because like Louis and Sharon on Big Brother are just saying whatever they want. The other night, they were going, oh yeah, James Corden, he's an arsehole. So is Anna Wintour. Sharon said Anna Wintour is something that begins with a C word on fucking channel. No, it's not Channel 4, it's ITV. And I just thought, you know what? That's because you're old. You don't give a fuck.
I think there's like an element, the older you get, there's more and more elements of giving less and less fucks. But I was watching like someone's story the other day and they put this video up and it was just saying like in 3 generations, all the people that know you now, including like your youngest, everyone's going to be dead.
Oh
Everyone who
God.
ever knew you is
Oh
going to be
God.
dead. So who gives a fuck, essentially? You know, as long as
Mm.
you're not hurting anybody else.
That's true, you know. And I saw a really cute video. I think it was last night of this guy, and he went to the florist and he bought 100 red roses. And he gave the roses to the ladies in the elderly home, and it was so
Oh,
cute. And this one lady started crying, and I was just like, "Nah, they're just too wholesome."
yeah.
But at the same time, them old women will say to you,
Are they wholesome though?
"That's what I mean." They'll say some mad shit out their mouths.
They might have tried to
The thing is, though, like,
grab a little.
the thing is, though, if an old lady said something to me that was rude, I'd just be like, "Oh."
I mean, it would make
Like, she could be like, "You're a fat bitch," and I'd be like, "Oh."
it would make a great story though, wouldn't it? My friend's nan, my best friend's nan, was literally like the Catherine Tate nan.
Really?
And my friend has a nephew, and when he was like 14, she just went to him, "So, you having sex yet?"
Was she Cockney as well?
Yeah, she
I
was.
love
Yeah.
old Cockney people.
And he was like, "No, no, nan, I'm not." And she went, "Oh, when I was your age, I was having loads of sex." And then what happened is she decided to reveal to everyone because her husband passed years ago. So my friend's dad was talking to her about, you know, this friend that they'd had, like when his dad was alive, and she was like, "He wasn't my
Oh
friend.
my God.
I was having sex with him. What do you think I was doing?"
She was having sex with everyone.
And my friend's dad was mortified. Like he was in his 60s at this time. He not mortified, he was really upset that his mum had been cheating.
That's how he finds out his mum was cheating.
Yeah.
I wasn't just a little bit of a slag. I was a total slag.
Yeah. And stuff like someone parked their car across her driveway so that they could go and pick their kids up from school. So she just reversed out in her car and pushed it into the middle of the road.
No. Oh, see, that's what I mean about the not giving a shit.
Yeah. And then like at her funeral, my friend was saying there were some people there that she didn't know, but they were from the local pub. And she was like, "Oh, how did you know like my nan?" And these guys are like, "We used to watch her. A dog like would shit on her garden. She'd pick it up, follow the person home and put it through their letterbox."
Oh my God. Oh my
She's like a whole
days.
character. But anyway, that's enough
She sounds
stories.
amazing. She sounds amazing. So, are you going to kick off the dilemmas?
Yeah,
or
I'm
shall
going
I?
to kick off the dilemmas.
All
You
right,
haven't
go.
got any. I'm in control of the
No, we're going to go
dilemmas.
to and fro. I've been locked out of the Instagram account, guys. Well, I know the login is.
I mean, you haven't been officially locked out.
No, not
Right.
yet.
Let's start with this one. My boyfriend keeps spending his days off with his friends in the pub, leaving rarely any time for us to spend together. I understand him being in full-time work and me being at uni leaves me with more free time. However, I try to dedicate some of the time that he has off to do things together or just spend quality time together. And he keeps going to the pub with his free time.
Oh, so he's not like prioritizing her at all.
No. So she's obviously at uni, she's got a bit more free time, but she knows when his time off is. So she's like, "Right, you've got a night off, let's do this, let's do that." And he's going down pub.
You know what it is? I feel like a lot of men actually just want to be in relationships with their friends. That's how they act. Like they just want to be sucking off their mates. Because when it comes time to spending time with their girlfriends,
Let me know if you'd like to add a time or
add what to the list?
Sucking off your mates.
What the fuck?
Siri's
getting involved.
Siri's adding sucking off our mates into the diary.
Yeah, because I've said this before, you know, I don't know if I've said it on the podcast before, but male friendships are homoerotic. Like they don't want to, in reality, they don't want to shag their mate, obviously, but they care more about the approval of their friends than they do their romantic partners if it's a woman.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
I do think that. I've actually spoken to guys before who've said, you know, a lot of times guys, even when it comes to, you know, they want to get money or they want to drive a certain car or they want to wear certain clothes. It's not to necessarily impress women. It's to impress
the boys or other men.
Yeah. To make themselves and their status look bigger to other men.
That's such a yuck.
But what I would say is if you're in uni, and I'm guessing that both of you are quite young, and
he's in full-time work.
Yeah, that maybe his priorities just aren't aligned with yours right now.
Yeah, his priorities are having a pint of Stella with the boys on a Wednesday afternoon. What would I do in that situation? I think you just got to tell him. You just got to be like, babes, I'm feeling so unserious today. Let me try and be serious.
Go on, be unserious. It's fine.
You gotta be like, babe, what the fuck are you doing? Like, are we not in a relationship? Like, because the thing is, if you're not spending quality time together, what are you doing? You're obviously seeing each other, so it must just be on the evening time and like having a shag.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not just a shag. You're more than that.
But also, I think depending on, like how people grow up or what they saw growing up, some guys don't know how to be a good boyfriend, but it is not necessarily your responsibility to teach them. I think, like Emma said, you can explain to somebody. I wouldn't maybe be like, what the fuck to them straight away.
No, don't do that. Just speak in a healthy, constructive way.
Yeah.
Tell him how you feel.
You just say, without blaming them, you can just say like, I'm feeling a little bit disappointed because you're my boyfriend. I really like you and I want to spend more time with you. And it feels like you would rather be in the pub. And all you can do is give someone the opportunity to change.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then the choice is yours. Like, obviously, if they don't change and they still stay the same, is this even a person that you want to be with?
And if he's open to it, then you can make a little plan. Like, all right, once a fortnight, we'll
date night.
Do a date night.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be then, because even that's a good compromise. First week of the month, you go to the pub with the lads. Second week of the month, we go on a date night.
Yeah. Because let's be honest, if people are working, I think for guys, as women, we're much better at communication. So it might be we call our friends, we chat on the phone, we message each other. We're constantly kind of having this dialogue about what's going on our lives, the ups, the downs, the happy, the sad, everything. But men don't necessarily have that. So I think for some men, going down the pub and being around your mates, even if you're not talking about what's happening, it can just be a way of like switching off.
Yeah, and maybe he sees that as like a release and a decompress. And when he's with his girl, maybe he feels like he needs to, I don't know, like perform or be a certain person, and he can't like fully let himself go and express like his feelings or what he's going through. I don't know.
Maybe
it could be anything.
He doesn't have that skill set to be able to talk about his feelings or his emotions. But also, it's two different things, isn't it? Like, I don't ever want to be in a relationship and then because I'm in a relationship, I'm going to stop wanting to spend time with my friends.
Yeah.
Like, you just need to find a healthy balance of both.
Yeah.
And I think, maybe this is like both of your first serious relationship and perhaps you just need to have that conversation with him. Like we said, give him the option to change. Like Emma said, make a plan, get your date nights in the diary. And if he doesn't want to,
that'd do my head in. My dad used to like go down the pub all the time with the boys. And I think if I was my mum, I'd be like, fuck, what are you doing?
No, I couldn't be with someone who did that.
Me neither. I feel like that's like maybe I'm wrong. It's just I don't know anyone that will go to the pub like all the time, really.
Yeah.
But that's like our dad's generation kind of thing, innit? Go down to the pub with the boys.
Yeah, and leave you to look after.
My dad will leave my mum at home with me and my brother looking after them whilst he was down the fucking pub. Yeah. Are you mad?
Exactly. Not good. Not
Love
good.
You, Dad, but what?
Not good, Emma's dad.
No, not very good, Adrian.
Adrian's naughty.
And Pammy just took it on the chin.
Just took it on the chin. Again, I think like our expectations of relationships are really changing and what we want from relationships are really changing as well. And so I think it's okay to say to somebody, look, I'm not saying you should never go down the pub and never see your friends. Of course, I want you to have a social life. But at the same time, we're in a relationship or are we not?
Exactly.
Do you want to do this one?
I do want to do this one.
Go on, you do it. See, let's test Emma's reading skills.
I know, I'm feeling a bit today. My best friend has got into a new relationship and I'm really happy for her, but I feel like she now has no time for me. She's cancelled our plans 3 times in a row last minute and not given me a reason as to why. It's making me not want to arrange plans as if she cancels on me. It's making me not want to arrange new plans because if she cancels on me last minute, it makes me upset and I could have arranged something else. I hope this makes sense. Any advice would be really appreciated.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
I can't lie to you. I flipping hate them people that get in a relationship and make it their personality trait. I know a couple girls like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm happy you're happy. I'm happy you're in love. That is amazing. But at the same time, what are you doing?
What are you
doing? And I wouldn't want to be with someone who, as much as I would love the attention, because I am, like, I love the attention when it comes to a relationship. But if my partner spend all their time with me and never saw their mates, I'd be like, girl, what are you doing?
But do you reckon...
me say, girl, what are you doing? I would though. I wouldn't want to be with someone like that.
But maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the two. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe it's just the two of them and they're really into each other and they're just spending
Yeah,
loads
we're
of
all
time
into.
together.
I'm into my mum. We don't mean we
I
don't see
mean,
anyone else.
don't get me wrong. I wouldn't do that now, but I think maybe when I was younger, I might have done it. When I was younger, I was with someone who was really controlling, and that's why I stopped seeing my friends.
But that's what I mean. Because when
Yeah.
your friends stop seeing their friends, it could be one of two things. One, they're really happy in their little love bubble, or two, something sinister is happening.
Yeah, there's the two different things there. But I think that, it can go left as well, because sometimes you'll then decide, right, okay, I'm going to speak to my friend about it. What I
Yeah.
would say, and I would always say this, is don't speak to your friend from a reactive place. Like, you've really upset me, you keep letting me down, you
Because they're
this,
going to be
you
like,
that.
you're not happy for me, and
Yeah,
and they're going to think you're jealous or something like that when it's
Yeah.
not even that.
And they're going to get really defensive, which is exactly what you're saying,
Yeah.
because it feels like an attack. So I think it's okay in this, if you've been friends for years as well, and someone is your real, genuine friend, to say, hey, look, I'm really happy for you. And I'm happy that you've met someone and you seem really happy. But at the same time, like, I miss you as a friend. And I've noticed that, the last couple of times we were supposed to see each other, you've cancelled plans.
It is upsetting.
It
Did she say
is.
she's not making new plans?
Yeah, because she's too, she doesn't want to get re-upset. It's really hurtful. It feels like
It
a
is.
rejection when that's your friend.
Did she say it was her best friend?
Yeah.
I'd be well upset if my best friend did that to me.
Yeah, I would as well.
Best friend, like we're 7 years old. But do you know what I mean? Like, when you're a really good friend, putting myself in that situation. But if the relationship I have with my friends,
Yeah.
if one of them did that to me, I'd be like, what's the crack? Like, what's going on with you? Because you cancelled on me like 3 times now. Are you all right?
Yeah, you just have it. But I think it depends where you're at, like age-wise, and where your friendship's at as well. Because I think when I was in my early 20s, I think a lot of my friends would have been really defensive at that time. Whereas as we got older, it's, we've had much more open, honest conversations. I mean, fucking hell, I've had to there's things that have happened with my friends where the conversations have been really hard. So I think that, that changes over time. But if you haven't ever had to have a tough conversation with your friend before,
that can be hard.
and it's always just been, hey, you're my best friend, yay.
And even though like your best friends like see a lot of you and see who you are beneath the surface, sometimes it can be hard to like let them know like you've upset me.
Yeah, and that's what makes it even harder, because you love them so much.
Yeah, and you don't want them to feel bad because you love them, but they have made you feel bad.
Yeah, and actually, your feeling bad is justified.
Yeah.
Because, and the thing is, they're probably not doing it because they want to upset you or they want to hurt you, but it is selfish, right?
It is selfish, yeah.
Just stop right there.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm just thinking about. I mean, I can't slag people off who get in their little love bubbles, because I have been that person.
Yeah.
But now, if any of my friends did that now, I'd be like, give you like.
But also,
I'm just thinking because there's someone that I know who's like that, and I'm thinking it's just.
I've got a friend who sometimes listens to this podcast actually, and she's been a bit like that. And then I saw her this week, and there was like a holiday that we were going to do together, and she's now booked to do that with like her new person.
Yeah.
But which is like I'm fine with it, and she did say to me, she's like, if you want to come and join us for any of it, like, it's fine. And I was like, no, it's okay. I'm always the third wheel.
Can you imagine? Romantic sunset dinner and there's just a fucking extra chair pulled
just
up.
me. Hi guys.
Skydiving, all 3 of you straight.
They'll be wearing like matching outfits, and they'll just be me, like holding hands. There'll just be me walking alongside them.
Oh my god!
But then the other thing was that the dates they booked the holiday for. So this was a destination that we wanted to go to together. So they're going there. Cool, no worries. But the dates that they've booked the holiday for is like a certain time of year where there's a certain event happens.
Okay.
That we had been planning to go to the whole time, and then when we were talking about it the other night, she was just like, "Oh, is it on the set?" And the thing is, like, I'm not angry or upset at all, because I feel like I know her, and I know that it's not from.
Yeah, you still want her to have a good time.
Yeah, and I want her to be happy, and it's not from a place of like, selfishness. It's just from a place of like, she's very spontaneous and she just didn't think it through. And that's absolutely fine. And the same, like, if I met somebody now and I'd spoken with my friend about going on holiday somewhere, and then they were like, should we go here? I'd be like, yeah, cool. And then I'd invite my friend along as the third wheel.
Maybe you could take another friend and then it's a foursome.
Oh yeah. Good idea.
I
don't think they'd like that though, because it's like,
their thing.
And they're quite newly together.
Is it going to be their first holiday as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
I'm
here, guys.
Like, I wouldn't want my friend tagging along on my first vacation.
Exactly. So, as much as she asked me, I feel like she just did it because she was like, "Oh,
It was a pity invite.
It was a pity invite." But that's actually fine. Don't worry. I
That's
won't be
actually
coming.
smiling through the pain right now. She's actually crying.
No,
if you
it's
watch
fine.
it.
It's fine because there's something else that I want to do. So I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
now I can go and do that, and that kind of makes things a little bit,
There's
easier.
still time. You can go another year.
Oh, I can go over there another time. It's absolutely fine. Then she was like, "Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that?" And I was like, "No, honestly, it's cool."
No, it's
Don't
fine.
worry.
I don't want to come. Watch you guys snog in the sunset for a week. No.
Yeah. So what are we saying then in this scenario? So we know that her friend has got a new person, that she's very much in love. I think you've got to have an honest conversation with your friend.
All of our advice is so funny because it's all just have a chat with them. Because that's all you can really do, though, isn't it? Like, I would say have a chat with her. Tell her that you miss her, and tell her how you feel. Because that's the thing. I think if once you frame it and let her know, I'm not like angry or jealous or anything like that. Like, I just miss you. Like, I miss my friend.
And I was just going to say, to add to that, I think you have to be willing as well when you've got a best friend and someone gets a partner, that your relationship is going to change slightly, and you probably will see them slightly less, and etc.
Yeah.
Like when I found out my best friend was having a baby, I was very upset.
Oh, well, because you weren't the priority anymore. The little baby was.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, you're not going to be my friend anymore.
Oh. I've not had any really close friends have a baby yet.
It was my best friend in the whole world.
Okay.
At the time, we had a business together, which
I remember.
Which wouldn't have been able to carry on.
Yeah.
It didn't carry on.
It's funny, isn't it? Like, like the feelings that we have, like with our closest friends, because they're like sisters.
She's like my sister, yeah.
Yes, it's like they're your chosen family. So yeah, have a chat with her, let her know how you feel, and then hopefully you can talk it out, and just let her know that like it hurts you when it makes you feel like you're not a priority in her life anymore.
Yeah, and that she's like, it's kind of like a rejection. I think it's okay to say that. And like from experience with my best friend, like even when I said that to her, she was like really fine about it. And then we went out, had some food, had a chat, and ironed out all the creases, and we're still best friends now. So it works.
And I think like just the same way with your romantic relationships, your friendships go through ups and downs and ebbs and flows.
Oh my God.
Like it's never
consistent.
Because sometimes you see each other less and sometimes you see each other more, and friendships are just the same as
you could move to a different place, and then once you move to a different place, it might be that you have a different set of friends. Someone just walked into the hello. Someone just walked into our studio while we were recording. This little hand just creeped around the corner.
Then they realised the error of their ways.
And then they ran away.
They did.
But yeah, so I think have that conversation. And I think you make a really good point. Friendships aren't always the same. Like you've moved to a new place. And then it means that there's some friends who live closer to you, so you see them more. It's like my best friend lives outside of London. I live in London. My friends that live in London, I see way more than I do my friends that live outside. So but it doesn't change how I feel about them. And
hell no.
Also, thing about best friends is like you have potentially a lifetime of experiences with them, which even if you really like a new friend, it can never make up for all of those stories and all of those adventures and those experiences that you've had together. So speak to your best friend, and I really hope that she is
open to it.
Yeah, open
you can
to
sort
it.
it out.
Yeah, and then you can find,
because as we get older as well,
make friend date nights.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's so cute. I love going little friendship date nights.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like as we get older, I've lost what I was going to say. It were right there, and now it's disappeared. So it don't matter.
It will come back in a minute.
It will.
That's what always happens.
Whilst we're talking about something completely
if you count
different.
to 10, our favourite podcast, for anyone who's listened to this, there's these guys called Luke and Pete talking sheep. And they're really
even
funny.
Laughing just thinking about them.
Yeah, they're funny. But I watched a clip yesterday of them, and it was Luke and Pete were talking about, I don't know what they're talking about.
Sheep.
Talking sheep. They were talking about grapes becoming raisins, and then they were like,
"Oh my God, I've seen it."
Did you see it? And then he was like, "Are grapes actually raisins?" And then he was like, "Raisin flour." Pete was like, "Self-raisin flour," and then Luke's like, "No, it's self-raising flour."
Oh, fuck off.
And he's like, "So what? It's nothing to do with raisins."
My favorite one is when they were talking about the Kardashians.
Yeah.
That killed me.
Anyway,
off.
do listen. I mean, I don't know the whole podcast. I listened to a couple of whole podcasts when I was doing a road trip in America, and they're good, but the clips are absolutely hilarious. Top tier.
Get them on TikTok. There's your another podcast recommendation, girls.
Right, we've got another dilemma, and this one's really serious.
Piss off. The fire alarm's going off. piss off
Piss
that the
off. Just
fire
as I
alarm's
said that,
going
this
off.
one's really serious.
Whoop, whoop.
It's the sound of the
Right.
police.
Oh, I thought I was
Maybe
about
he
to
was
say
just
that.
testing the podcast.
I was about to say intermission, but we're back now. It's turned off.
Okay, right. You
What
ready?
the fuck? Sorry, girls.
This one is really big and really serious.
Hold on, he's
dilemma.
gonna. I feel like he's gonna run in and be like, "You all right?"
What the?
Yeah. Where's he gone?
Don't know. This is the best podcast ever.
Fuck me. What a mess. You can
Leave
tell.
If he came in, we'll just have an interview with him quick.
Innit? Sit
Ask him
down,
a couple
love.
questions. Sit down. We've got a dilemma for you, lad.
All right. Then.
Are you ready?
Yeah, give it to me.
It says, I have a big dilemma.
Okay.
I'm 31 and I've been looking after my 16-year-old brother's baby legally for the last 4 months after she was removed because the mum, also 16, was deemed inadequate by social services.
Oh.
She's currently being assessed and says she wants her back, but she's failing in many areas, so I'm not sure if she'll get her back. As for my brother, he's not interested, so isn't even a contender.
Oh my God.
The girl is in care herself, so her family are not an option to look after the baby either. So my dilemma is I don't want her, the baby.
Oh God.
I thought the placement was only going to be for a few weeks or maybe a couple of months, but I've been told by the baby's social worker that the final court date is scheduled for January 2025.
Oh God.
There are literal days where I'm looking after the baby, who I love dearly, that I think I'd rather die than be a full-time mother. But I feel duty bound to keep looking after her because I don't want her to go into care. I'm so depressed.
Oh, that's really sad. That's a lot.
And as we said at the start of this podcast, we are not trained professionals.
Definitely not.
So all we can do is, kind of, I guess, give our opinion
God,
and
that's
sympathise.
So sad.
I think that it would be such a difficult position to be thrown into because obviously she's only 31.
She's 31.
It's not by choice. This isn't
she
her
never
baby.
chose that.
This isn't a life that she's chosen. And as we all know, and I think we have to be really clear about this, having kids is hard work. If you've had 9 months to prepare for it and you're supported by family and friends and you have an incredible partner, it's hard work, let alone if you are on your own and thrown into it in this kind of way.
Even being 16, having children, you are a child. You are a child.
Mm-hmm.
And it's you can, it's crazy. You see the cycle there, the mum's in care,
Mm-hmm.
and then God forbid this baby might have to go into care as well. And it's just a never-ending circle.
My understanding is that I don't know. Sorry, my understanding isn't 100% clear on what it would have to take for the baby to be in a situation where the baby could be adopted rather than go into the care system.
Yeah.
Because I think the the route of adoption. If I was in that situation and I was okay. Do I get to meet the family? What's the scenario? But I knew that baby was going to a family who really wanted a child, who really, wanted to look after her and would give her an incredible life. Then I would feel much more comfortable about that. However, if it's the care system, that's a really difficult decision to make. And it's going to be in the back of your mind the whole time.
It's all long though, because it's I'm not... This is what I would do in that position. I feel and she's saying the hearing's not till next January.
2025.
I would have to just carry on looking after my niece. I don't think I could. I'm not putting any shame on anyone that would have to, give the child up to care, but I feel I'd have to look after the baby until we can figure something out. But she knows that she doesn't want to have this baby forever. But then it's even even if she does find, or they do find someone to adopt the child, and so the baby doesn't have to go into care, it's well, by that time, because them things are not an easy process.
No, take
by
years.
that time, you might not even want to give the baby to anyone else now because you've formed such a bond with it. And then it's the mum still wants the baby, but she's 16.
It's a really, really tricky situation because now at this age, for example, I have a nephew and a niece, and if anything happened to my brother and his wife, I would not be first in line to to get the children. But if I did have them, at this age now, and also because of my experience of losing my mum, I would, but I don't know if I had the capabilities at 31.
No, I mean, that's only a few years away from me. I know damn well if a baby got thrown on me, I'd be it completely changes your whole life.
What I would say is that that there's definitely worth like seeking some professional help and speaking to somebody about it properly, because I feel like in that scenario you really really need some support. And I know that like social services is an absolute nightmare, but is there, you know, a way that they can help support you in that scenario, so that, you know, if you did decide I'm going to keep the baby until the court date, that actually, you know, there's a like supportive system there in place to make it much easier for you to care for the baby, in terms of like, I don't know, is there someone that could look after her a couple of days a week, or
Yeah,
because all your social
like
life
a
is gone,
guardian.
everything is gone.
Yeah.
You know, I'm presuming that the baby is with her because, you know,
And
and
it's like she hasn't even had time to prepare for this. Not no 9 months getting in your head, okay, a baby is coming, let me prepare myself.
that
Like,
I chose to have as well.
yeah, it's like knowing that you have a child, she didn't have any children. I wouldn't even know how to look after a baby. Like, you know how to, like, you know, hug a baby and hold a baby and whatever else. But like the graft that it takes to look after a
Yeah.
child.
She might have had to give up her job.
Like, and it's like
How
a
would you
couple
socialize with your
struggle.
friends?
Couple struggle, never mind one person on their own who's not had that time to bond with the baby.
It's not their baby. Like, that's
Hmm.
ultimately the thing. It's not her
I was
baby.
gonna say I can't believe that the dad don't want anything to do with it, but
He's
he's literally a child.
16. He's
Yeah, he's
16.
literally a child.
He's 16. And, you know, it just, but the fact that she's obviously looking after the baby, I don't know what her family
I
situation
was
is
gonna say I
either.
wonder if
Like,
her parents are around that could possibly help because it takes a village.
it
Like it
takes a
really does.
village. But
Anyone around you needs to help you right now.
if she doesn't have a village,
Mm,
that's how I'm imagining it, because she's been left holding the baby literally. So
yeah.
if there was a village, surely the village would be helping out more. And now you're 31 with a baby that's not yours,
Yeah.
but you feel duty bound to, but you
Hmm.
know you don't
Poor
want.
baby. It's not even her fault. She didn't ask to get born into this mess.
I know it's not, but I think my first place would be, or my first point of call would be reaching out to like
Yeah.
organizations,
Speaking to the
to
social worker.
charities, speaking to the social workers, and finding out like if there is any help and support that I can get.
Yeah.
Should I make a decision to keep the baby until the court date? Also, like, what do all of these things look like if the baby were to go into care with
Mm,
a family? Are you still able to go and visit the
yeah.
baby? Are you still able to
Because it's the
go and see
thing.
her 2 or 3 times a week? Like, what is the scenario? What does that look like?
I've never known anyone that grew up in care.
Yeah.
I can imagine that for like I don't think it's something that is horrendous. Do you know what I mean? I can imagine that it's good for the kids. That not the best situation, but you know, they're not getting treated super badly, are they? But it's just that not having a stable foundation, not having stable parents that love you or guardians or whoever that love you, like
It's a lack
that's
of
just a lot for a
consistency.
child.
A lack of consistency. I
Yeah.
guess, like, if it's a foster home, then there might be lots of other children. So, how much individual attention do you
Yeah.
get? And we know that kids need that.
And you're just learning your emotions, you're trying to regulate your emotions. Being a child or a teenager or a young adult, you go through so much because you've never experienced it before, and your emotions feel so deep and so heavy because you don't know how to regulate them properly.
No, you don't. So my heart goes out to you, and I'm not sure if we've actually really, you know, helped that
Helped.
much,
Yeah.
but just to kind of really sympathize with you, because I think it's such a difficult situation to be in.
And you need to pat yourself on the back
Yeah,
because
fucking
you're doing
hell.
something that's really important, and that child in the future will thank you so much for what you're doing right now.
They might not. They might stick their fingers up at you, gonna be honest,
Yeah,
especially teenagers. But that,
but deep down in their heart, when they
yeah,
get older, they'll know, oh my God, like she was the one that looked after me
yeah,
when
and
no one
cared
else
about
would.
me. And so I think, yeah, I think my first port of call would be, and maybe you have already done that, but I know that there are kind of like charities and grants and etc. available, because, you know, is there a way that you could make it much easier on yourself so you regain some of your kind of independence
And I
and
feel
freedom?
like you're definitely not alone. I think there's a lot of people in this
Mm,
situation having to look after family members' children because they're not fit to. So I think maybe even doing a bit of research and seeing if you can make
support
any,
groups.
yeah, if there's any groups where you can like talk to people just going through the same thing as you. Because I
Yeah,
feel like that in itself would also help.
yeah, yeah. And make the decision that's ultimately best for you, because I do think that looking after a child but you have all of that animosity, and
It's a
it's
huge
making
responsibility.
you really mentally unwell, you're not going to be the best person for that child in
True,
that
true.
scenario.
You know, if you're depressed, like how can you give a baby everything that it needs?
You can't. So, you know, you really do have to go along with how you feel as well. And it's just such a tricky situation to be
Hmm.
in. It's so difficult. But I think, yeah, that you have to put your best interests first, because ultimately that's putting the baby's best interest first, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And their best interests are going to be the baby being with somebody who, can is in a good space to look after them
Yeah.
and take care of them. And I just think, and I hope that the case would be that if, there was like a care situation organized, that you would still be able to see her, go and spend
Mm.
time with her, and, that she would look forward to that, and your
Yeah.
bond with her would continue to grow, but without, it taking over your whole entire life.
Yeah, because I can't imagine if the child went into care or got foster parents or whatever, she's still her auntie, so she's
Yeah.
still gonna see her.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's maybe really discussing and fleshing out exactly what that looks like and
Mm.
how it would work. And then that hopefully would give you a bit more idea of how to move
And I
forward.
feel like don't beat yourself. Whatever choice
No,
you make, don't beat yourself up
no,
about it.
no. It's not a choice that you made, and I think that you are doing fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done. Sending you lots of love.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Are you ready for this one? We're doing
Yeah.
one more.
Oh, okay.
It's the final one. We're going back to the old boyfriends. They're causing havoc.
Oh God, it's
across
always
the
the
nation.
boyfriends.
All the boyfriends are causing havoc around the world.
You asked for dilemmas, and I could really use some advice.
Oh,
What an opener.
go for it.
I've been with my boyfriend for over 2 years. We have a great relationship, and this is literally the only thing that has ever caused any kind of friction. I'm an extrovert, and he is an introvert. I'm very conscious and respectful that his social battery is smaller than mine. I've offered him to come to events that I would like him to attend, but understood that they're not his kind of thing and accepted his response if he decides to not come. However, my dilemma is I have a weekend with friends coming up that I would really like him to come to. I don't get to see these friends very often and would love him to come and make the effort to see them and spend time with them. He said no. So I offered a compromise and said that if he could come for a day or only spend one night with us rather than a full weekend, I'd really appreciate it. And he is still saying no. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That'd be really difficult for me. I'm going to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I'd be fuming.
If I'm in a relationship with somebody, I want to be friends with their friends, and I want them to be friends with my friends.
Very true.
Like I like it, I don't have to go out raving or any of that stuff. I mean, I'm 40, I'm past it. But like the whole idea of socializing with people, for me personally, I don't want that to ever end.
No.
And I've had to do stuff before, like when
That
I've
you
been
don't
with
want to do.
with somebody. No, not that I don't want to do. He's just finishing my sentence. She's like, I know what you're going to
That
say.
you don't want to do.
I've had to do, like try and persuade my, my ex-boyfriend to do things with me and stuff like that. And it's not nice. Like, it's not a comfortable thing. And then like he would then act up in front of my friends, and it's embarrassing.
Oh God, one of my friends was going through this recently. Like her boyfriend was acting a fool in front of all her friends and she said she was really embarrassed. Oh God.
What did she do?
She left him.
Right.
No, actually, to be honest, it isn't my friend. It's a friend of one of my friends
Mm-hmm.
that I know quite well. And they'd gone to someone's birthday or some shit, I don't know. And then he got really drunk and then started acting a fool in the pub, and so she just left him. And then he like ran off and was like doing this whole I don't fucking know. Anyway, all got sorted in the end,
Yeah.
but God,
But she's not with him anymore.
No, I think they're just not right for each other. Anyway,
I think because with my ex, he would like sulk, and it's embarrassing.
that is, oh my God, my ex would do that.
And it's really embarrassing.
God, my ex would do that in front of my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you have no shame?
Mm-hmm.
My mum and dad are looking at you like you're a flipping 5-year-old.
Yeah, basically that. And
Oh God, so embarrassing. I could never do that.
And obviously she's not saying that he's doing that, but I think the fact that he's saying no, I mean, he could have really bad like social anxiety, and that could,
this is the thing, right?
make it really difficult for him.
She's not said in the message, but he's sounding kind of like neurodivergent.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, like I understand, like giving him his space and his like time and what he needs to feel comfortable. But at the same time, with people like that, I feel like you also do have to give them a little nudge to be like, no, come on, you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, but it's
But also it sounds like if that's the case, she's making a lot of compromise where
yeah,
it's like,
whereas
right,
he's
okay,
making no compromise.
I'm constantly compromising to accommodate your social battery and the fact that you're an introvert. And on this one occasion, this is really important to me, and I would really like you to be here. And he's just said no. And then she's compromised again and said, just come for one night. And he said no.
It's rude.
I think it's rude, but I also think it's deserving of like a proper conversation, because if you can't have these experiences together, what is the future of your relationship?
Exactly. And it's like he knows that's going to upset you and he knows it's going to piss you off and he's like, it's fine, she'll forgive me.
Unless he's having a massive anxiety and he hasn't spoken to you about it and you haven't had that discussion. But I'm guessing, if that is the case, then it's worth having a talk with him anyway to find out what his reservations are. Like, why won't you come for one night or one day?
Yeah.
Okay, it might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but can't you do that for me?
Yeah. Like, I would love to like spend time with my partner's friends and family and all that. Like, it makes me happy to like see my partner happy. So, and I want to like know everything about you. I want to like, so these are your friends. Okay, cool. Let me meet them because they're just an extra facet of who you are.
Yeah.
So that was a bit.
I just think that if you're really, I mean, it says you get on great, and this is kind of like the one sticking point, but I would say it's a pretty huge sticking point.
Just inconsiderate. Relationships are built on compromise.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to compromise, then you're not ready to be in a relationship because you are not always going to do things that you want to do in a relationship.
You're not.
You have to do things that you know will make your partner happy, even if it inconveniences you a little bit. And it's the push and the pull.
Yeah,
Don't expect someone else to do something for you when you're not even willing to do a little bit for them.
No, that's the nature of, like you say, that's the nature of relationships. And I think that you then have to ask yourself, is this really fulfilling my needs? Is this really the kind of relationship that I want to be in? Does this make me happy? Is this sticking point something that I can get over? And I can just be like, cool, I'll go and be independent and, we'll have these two really separate lives. Or do you want something very different? Because it might just be that he's not the right person for you. And, that this might be the final straw. Or it could be that having that conversation with him and really getting across to him what your needs are.
Yeah.
That he does understand and that it's kind of like the making of your relationship. So I think you got to have that chitter chatter.
Because it sounds like she's making loads of effort. And it's like, are you the one keeping this relationship afloat? Like if he's...
Yeah, basically.
I don't know. I'm quite extroverted though. So like it's easy for me to go out and meet new people, and I understand with some people it might make them super, super anxious. But still.
But then I wouldn't be able to be with I couldn't be with someone like that.
No,
that's it. That's it. Like, I could be with someone where we're slightly different like that. And maybe I'm not even the one that's on the center of the dance floor, but I could be with someone who was on the center of the dance floor and I'm the kind of more, laid back person, or vice versa. I don't know who'd be more laid back. I mean, there's people that could be, I guess, shyer than me or not. But I think confidence is sexy and taking an interest in my friends is important to me. So I think it's a conversation to be had and then a decision to be made about whether or not he's actually the person for you.
Because,
jinx.
Yeah, because then it's,
it is what it is until it isn't.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's all I got for you guys. We've come to the end of this podcast.
Woo!
Whoop, 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 whoop,
Fuck
whoop.
me, has this episode been a bit chaotic, hasn't it?
Oh no, it's been
We've
a
had
bit all
the
over the
fire
show.
alarm, we've had people waltzing in,
Yeah.
we've had me forgetting stuff again, short-term memory
we've had you putting your lip gloss on, we've had you drinking out your Evian bottle,
Yeah,
the professionalism's just
me
gone.
with my tits out, watch on YouTube every Wednesday.
We've had a lot going on. I could just lift my t-shirt up and get my actual tits out, but God. I don't know if that's suitable for YouTube.
You could just put your face, blur it out with your face in front of you.
Also, goes to Paris once.
Oh, did you buy that in Paris?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
but I did go and see the Mona Lisa.
There? It's sounding crinkly.
No, it's that sounds crinkly. I've got nothing.
You know why? Because it's a. Oh, I used to do this.
The printing.
That's a vinyl transfer. I used to have a machine that did that.
It's a vinyl transfer of Mona Lisa onto my top. Anyway, I liked it. Paris is good. We'll talk about it in another episode.
Yeah, we will.
Till I get to the end of this one.
Thank fucking God. This one's been a bit... I feel like drowsy. I feel like I need a fucking Red Bull or something.
Right, okay. Let's get her a Red Bull and join us for the next episode. Thank you for listening. Don't forget you can review, share.
Also, if you have dilemmas or saucy stories or anything you want to share with us, you can DM us mumtoldmepod, or you can hit us in the emails at mumtoldmepod@gmail.com. Everything is kept anonymous.
See, the professionalism came back then.
It did come back.
It's just like, bam!
You were going to finish, and not before I do my little... Also, give us a review. 5 stars is preferable. But you know,
Someone's given us another 1 star on Apple.
fuck off. What's he saying?
Nothing. Doesn't say anything bad.
Oh,
They're
just 1
just
star.
doing a 1 star.
You're a sad little life.
I
What a
don't
sad little life. And you know what? You won't rain on my day because I'm happy. Even though you gave me a 1 star review, even though we've gone down to 4.8, it doesn't bother me because it's still a high
4.6.
4.6. Get a life. That's all I say.
And if you do listen on Apple Podcasts, or if you have Apple Podcasts, just go over there and give us 5 stars so we can boost it back
Isn't
up.
it?
It's someone who doesn't listen to the podcast.
Yeah, someone that hates us.
Yeah.
How can you hate me? What did I do to you?
We're such lovely people. How
Just
could
so
anyone
nice.
hate us? So nice.
Anyway, that was it, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.